Okay, more. Yeah, I don't see
Preparing.
it at the moment.
Oh, you probably don't. Do you have a more button, even though this is under my name?
I don't.
Oh,
No,
that's
no,
why.
I don't.
So when you're the host, you'll have the buttons underneath the participants and things, and it'll say more.
Okay.
So we are on.
It does say live on YouTube. I'm just checking your channel to see. Yeah, we are.
All
Cool.
right. We are live. We made it.
Yes.
Okay, well, hello everybody. Um, it is 8:02. Let's see who we have in here with us. We have a couple already here.
Awesome. I can't
Um,
see them, can I? I can't see the
not unless if you
people
go to my
joining.
channel in the chat, you'll be able to see who's
Ah,
in there.
yes.
So sometimes people go ahead and do that. So, hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Casey Oswald, and I am here with online teacher dude Tim. Super
Hey,
excited.
everybody.
Um, so what we are planning on doing is I'm going to copy this link and send it to Tim. So we have a couple little what do you call it, housekeeping things to take care of, so that we can get the word out. Others want to see our live too. So yeah, that's where
Great.
we're
Yeah,
at.
so Casey, you can just pop it into whatever, into the messenger there, and I'll, or
Okay.
into the chat box here, I guess, right? That would work even better.
Oh, I guess I could.
Into the Zoom chat.
But then I'm not, then I have to go to my, I have to leave this
Okay,
room.
whatever's easiest. However you get me the link is fine.
Tim's gonna have to teach me some technology tips over here because okay, well,
Not
we
at
have a
all.
couple people here. Please say hello. Let us know how your classes went this morning if you are a teacher. If not, let us know how your morning, or I guess in some cases, your evenings are today. And
Yeah.
Tim, can you introduce yourself? Tell us
Yes,
a
sure.
little bit.
I'm still hearing myself looping back, Casey. I hope it's not on my end. I have your channel
Okay.
open, but it's muted, so I think we're good to go. Anyway, hey
Okay.
everybody, I'm Tim, and I have been a VIP teacher for actually I'm just over 2 years now. I was born in a little island of Bermuda in the Atlantic Ocean,
Oh.
and I grew up there, and then I moved to Canada when I was 19. My mother's Canadian and my father was British, so I hold 3 passports, which is kind of cool. I get to kind of pick and choose where, which one works best for what country. But I have, yeah, my mom is Canadian, so I went to university in Canada and lived there for 10 years. That's where I started my brick and mortar teaching career. And I was a kindergarten teacher, a first grade teacher, and then I got this opportunity to teach for a year in Beijing, China, where I was able to then return back to Canada and jump back into my permanent contract. So that was really appealing. I didn't have to lose any of my seniority with the district.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then 1 year turned into 2, which turned into 3, and then yeah, now here I am in Malaysia. I've been overseas for 10 years, 3 in Beijing, and
Wow.
almost 7 in Kuala Lumpur. And I don't know what has kept me here for so long, except I had a great job working for an American school teaching 3rd grade, and then
Mhm.
the last 2 years I was the technology integration specialist for kindergarten to grade 3. So we were integrating iPads into the classroom. We were purchasing a lot of technology, and I was supporting teachers to do that effectively with the curriculum. And yeah, then I became a VIP teacher after that. So that's kind of me in a nutshell. Is that what you wanted to know?
Sure. I think you banged out some questions for me. I might have to ask a
Okay.
couple again. That's great. Okay, so Tim, I sent you the link. And for those of you that haven't seen my Meet the Teacher interviews, when I am looking down, I'm looking at my notes. When I am looking on this side, I'm actually checking the chat because we do have a live chat. We have questions coming in, and so we have
Yeah, I'm just trying.
people are just saying hi right now. Hey, Danny and Giselle. We might have originally announced 7:30. Oh, that's Eastern. Originally we had 7:30 Central, but we changed it to 8 Central. So I'm not sure. It's probably in my excitement. I told you 7:30, but I am in Central Time, so originally from Eastern Time, so I might have gotten it confused. We have
Yeah,
6 in our chat box right now. Say hello, everybody. Let us know you're here.
great.
And
I'm actually not able to share a link right now on Facebook because I'm in Facebook jail.
oh no.
I forgot about it until tomorrow. So anyway, I
Oh
did I did I
no.
did make I did make a little post. So hope maybe people will come. But hard to
Great.
say.
If
Anyway,
not, I find that after the interview, it seems like a lot more come and watch later on
yeah,
and have
sure.
questions underneath. So good.
Yeah.
All right. So, did you tell us your why for starting VIP Kid? I think you told us you did
No,
start,
but
but
yeah, I started VIP Kid because, well, I sort of, when I was in my 4th year of teaching in the school here in Kuala Lumpur, which is the capital city of Malaysia, I
mhm,
just started wanting to take a year off and just take a break and just kind of travel. That was really my goal, was just travel, kind of slow travel through different countries in Asia. And so I did that. And as I was doing it, I got inspired to kind of work at home and sort of be this kind of digital nomad where I was able to work wherever I was. And I thought that that was a pretty cool idea. I had no idea how
mhm,
to achieve that. I started the year off with a good amount of savings, but that started to dwindle. And so kind of VIP Kid landed about 3/4, well, maybe more like halfway through the year. Yeah, because it was around this time. And I got on board with VIP Kid and then realized that, I could easily travel around Asia and work, quite
yeah.
part-time hours with VIP Kid. So my why was to make some money.
How did you find VIP Kid?
I was in Thailand actually and met someone who was a VIP Kid teacher, but I had actually already been teaching online, but with
Oh,
students that I had from China. So way back when I left China, I brought
mhm.
one student with me to KL through Skype. So I still teach him to this day, 8 years later. He was actually in
Oh,
my first grade class. Now he's 14 years old in a Chinese high school.
wow.
And it's crazy. Yeah. So I felt like I was sort of doing something that didn't exist when I started. I
Mhm.
had to kind of navigate how to do that with Skype, and I was able to pick up 2 or 3 more of his friends through that. So I was already kind of teaching a little bit online, making up
Right.
my own stuff. And I had seen VIP Kid, but I was very against it because I thought the money was really low compared to what I was able to make privately with these
Yeah.
families. But it just proved to be an amazing way of making money, and I didn't have to go out and look for students or make up a curriculum or any of that kind of stuff. So
Right. Great.
yeah,
You mentioned something, and I was just thinking about having your students for so long. It's so crazy that I don't have any online students because I've only been a VIP Kid teacher for 6 months now. But
right,
I can't believe my first kindergarten class is now like 14 years old, or I'm like, how did this
right. I
happen?
know, I know. Yeah, I think my first kindergarten class is, geez, I don't. When I was starting in 2007, they've probably graduated high school now. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
So
Okay, so you've already told us you're a brick and mortar teacher. Are you tech savvy, and what technology do you use in your classroom?
Yeah, I'm pretty tech savvy, and I was the tech integration specialist at my previous school. So yeah, pretty tech savvy, but I don't use any tech in my classroom. I don't use Manicam or digital props and rewards, even though it's a really great way to travel and use those things. I
Yeah,
think part of the reason why I was a bit hesitant with applications like Manicam is it does take up a lot of memory, and my MacBook Air just can't handle it. So
right.
I've never really seen the need for it. I mean, I'm still kind of curious about it, and maybe one day I will. But for
Mhm.
now, I don't use any of that tech in the classroom. So yeah, but I am
Seems a
tech
little.
savvy, I guess. Do you use a lot of tech, Casey?
No, I use Google Slides, but that's in my classroom. That's about it. But I am just now going through learning how to like edit my videos and things.
Yeah.
Thumbnails. I'm
Super
getting
fun.
thumbnails down. That's about it.
Okay. Canva, that's the one to use.
That's the one I'm using. Yes, Canva
Okay.
has been my like lifesaver. Thank you, Morgan
Hmm.
Brown, for telling me to go try that. Um,
Yeah, it's great.
oh, this is a good one for you. So, since you live overseas, what does your VIP kid schedule look like?
Okay, so I don't teach early mornings. So I teach, if you're talking about when kids are normally in school, obviously things are a bit strange right now, but when kids are normally in school, I generally fill up the 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Beijing time range.
Oh.
So I would say consistently, I'm a fully short notice teacher, fully booked from about 3 until 6. And if I want to add hours, I'll either add them before or after. So
Mhm.
I would say in 3,500 classes, I've taught less than 10 peak slots.
Wow.
I never need to. And for me, it's nice to have my evenings free. So, you know,
Mhm.
I do that kind of that late afternoon for me slot. But I'm teaching a little bit more right now. And so I'm kind of doing a few in the morning, a few in the early afternoon, a few in the early evening. So I'm trying to add on my hours a little bit this month due to
Right.
travels, but mostly, mostly 3 to 6. That's my
Great.
consistent schedule. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna check the chat really quick because I know this thing is doing pretty good over here. Let's
Yeah.
see. Hello, Danny, Marianne,
Hey,
Giselle,
Danny.
and let's see. We have 6 people in
Hey,
the chat right now.
awesome.
Oh, I think, Danny, we just answered your questions about how many classes do you teach? And yes, he's got quite a bit of experience, Giselle. And Marianne said, Facebook jail, the struggle is real.
Yeah. It's funny. Sometimes I can post links. I think what happened is because I do a lot of my kind of recruiting business on Facebook, I think they just detected something and blocked
Yeah.
me. So if you're doing anything like that on Facebook, you do need to be careful about, um, you know, link posting and even just private
Oh.
messaging lots of people. Because I generally have a lot of copy and paste messages to my referrals when they join my groups or different things like that. So
Right.
it can make you look a little bit spammy. So
Gotcha.
even though I'm not spammy, but
Spammy. There's a word. Okay, so as he just mentioned, he refers and he does short notice. So I'm sure there's questions about that coming in. So let's head back here. What is a challenge as a VIP kid teacher that you've had to overcome?
um, I've been pretty fortunate. I don't think I've had a ton of challenges, but I think that in the early days, I was very set on only teaching 3 or 4 hours a day, and I found it really difficult to, you know, not open slots for some of my favorite students and kind of like stick to my my schedule. I don't really worry about that too much anymore. I'm like, if you didn't get in, you didn't get in. Sorry.
I'm not there yet. I can't.
But I do kind of, I have a lot of WeChat parents that I do, and I have a level 7 student that books an hour every day with me. So I do
Wow.
leave 1 hour for him because he's just, I've taught him like 250 times. So I sort of feel indebted to his
Yeah.
family. But yeah, that would probably be the biggest challenge in the beginning, was just not opening more. And, you know, I think with
Mm,
this job, maybe you feel it too, Casey, or others that are watching, but you know, the tendency is there to just add another class on, add another 2 classes on. It's only a half an hour. It's only an hour. You know, another $20 would be really nice.
uh-huh.
But you do have to sometimes cut it off and, yeah, go back
Right.
to, you know, sort of what you want out of it. And it's, for me, it's not to teach all day. I don't want to teach all
Right.
day and, you know, burn myself out. Like, I want this to always be fun and to always be exciting and, you know, but still bring in an income. And yeah, so
Good
that would
point.
be.
I am at that stage, like, just one more. I can do one more.
Yeah, totally. I did it tomorrow for somebody. So
I,
I'm at 9 classes tomorrow, which is a little bit more than I want, but
I've been at like 12 to 14 because I can't say no. But anyway, that's.
right.
How do you handle tough or distracted kiddos? Do you find that at all?
Um, yeah, I do have from time to time, and it's generally new kids. I mean, obviously your regulars are coming back to you normally because they want to come back to your class. So it's
Hmm.
sometimes with new students, or I actually don't teach a lot of trials, but I've had a few trials in the last couple of days, and I had 2 3-year-olds back to back. And that was a challenge. I'm fortunate to be able to speak a little bit of Chinese, so I use Chinese to actually bring them
uh,
back in.
there you go,
Yeah.
Danny.
So I what was she asking about that?
We had a conversation about it, yeah, about
Oh,
using some simple Chinese words to get them
yes, absolutely. I
going.
totally do that, and it works so well. And actually, I think from the beginning, when parents found my intro video, I do, tell the parents in Chinese, that I can speak a little bit of Chinese, and that I lived in Beijing for 3 years or whatever. I
Okay.
can't remember what I said, something like that. And that got me a lot of like, kids were taking my classes, I think, because they always wanted to say, teacher, do you speak Chinese at the very end? So I was like, a little bit like, but now I do say phrases like, 做好, which means work well. And that you'll hear the parents sometimes say that
Oh,
on the
okay.
side. And so they don't always know that I can say a little bit. So they'll
Right.
immediately perk up and
Mm.
like, huh? Mama, 老师说中文. And I'll
Squeaky.
say, yes, I can speak a little bit, but
Mhm.
I try to use, that would be my little tactic. So it's always nice to learn a little bit, even just phrases or, look teacher, things like that. So.
Right. Great. I was able to do that in Japan, but definitely not in here with my
Oh, that's
Chinese
cool. Yes.
students.
You
So
were able to pick up a little Japanese.
yeah, well, actually, I took it in college and I lived there for 7 years, so I could speak quite a bit when I was there. But
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Awesome.
So okay, we know you're a YouTuber.
Hmm.
How long does it take you to record and edit videos?
Um, It depends. Sometimes I always start out with like kind of a rough script and then I'll film it. And then in the early days, I would forget to press the record button or the battery would die or things like that. So I always charge my battery the night before, and I'm very intentional about like tomorrow morning, I'm filming this video. When I did the walkthroughs, my walkthrough videos, those took
Mhm.
forever. But now I'm a little bit less worried about perfection. I kind of just, it is what it is, casual.
Yeah.
Sometimes I make mistakes, and I I edit a lot of like, I cut out a lot of things. So I think it's called jump cutting. So there's a lot of that in my videos, which
Oh,
it's just,
okay.
it is what it is. So it's not like I don't sort of talk the whole time without any cuts.
Right.
Probably takes like 4 hours, I would say, to edit. Yeah, I'll do a little bit, come back to it, do a little bit. Then I got to go find some music and or I'm trying not to do a lot of music because I think it's distracting, but look for
Mhm.
music or look, if I have to put in text or, and then I watch it a few times and you know, yeah.
That's probably
Actually
why.
making the thumbnail and editing the photo and getting it on YouTube and uploading it, getting the description, and then I add cards at the end or at the top sometimes, and I'll
Mhm.
add the end screen. Like all of that stuff takes at least an hour, so it can be time consuming.
Those that know me probably know that's why it takes me all day, because I'll start something and I'm like, oh, next. And then I forget to come back until like the next day. I don't
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
know. Okay. Do you have a favorite teaching moment or story? Funny story or something?
A favorite teaching moment or story. I've had a lot of neat classes. I think my most interesting class was I had a girl who took her entire class on her horse at the horse stables. I was like, pretty amazing. I had her once before. She told me she rode horses, and then the next class, there she was at the horse stable with the camera right on the horse, and mom lifted her up, and she had the class sitting on the horse the
Sitting on
whole
the
time. So
horse.
that was wild. Um, yeah. I think some of my, I was fortunate to meet many students when I went back to Beijing.
Oh,
And
nice.
so, like, I don't know, those are just really special kids to me, the ones that I've been able to meet and still have classes with.
Uh-huh.
So the connection is just really deep because we, met each other and, shared experiences in real time. So, but yeah, funny story. I think, I don't know. I guess probably, yeah, I can't think of a funny story, but I mean, the kids make us laugh all the time, right?
Oh yeah.
Some of them are pretty hilarious.
Yes. Okay, I gotta ask, was the horse moving? Like, were you getting dizzy
No,
while
it wasn't. No, they were just in the stables, but it was really strange because it was a difficult class to get through because she wanted to, kept turning the camera to the horse and then
Uh-huh.
other horses, and it was really funny.
Okay, I'm gonna check the chat because you finished all the beginning questions. We are at the fire round, so let's see. Oh, Danny said thumbs up the live. Let's show our support. Thanks, Danny. Y'all showing your age. Uh-oh. How are we showing our age?
Nobody knows how old I am.
What did we say? Marianne said their wisdom.
Uh-huh.
Who is not cool techie? Who is not using it in class? And let's see.
I'm trying to share this. Come and join us.
Okay, go for it. I'm looking for questions. So.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, if anyone wants to ask about referring or YouTube or anything like that, feel free.
Great. Danny asked, she's part of the short notice club. And then she asked, does that hurt the raise having no PPT slots? Good question.
Yes. Oh, from my, because I don't teach any PPT slots.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was the reason why I ended up going short notice, was because after 2 contracts, I didn't qualify for the raise. So I ended up just moving into short notice because of that. And, that was kind of the driving force behind it. So I don't ever expect to get a raise because of that, but because I make the extra $4 an hour, now I'm making $25 an hour with the short notice. It's, I'm pretty happy with that. And
yeah. Good question, Danny.
Yeah.
Question from Melissa. Does the majority of your income come from referring?
Yeah, so if you go back in my channel, I did do a video on what I made in 2019 and how I was sort of able to scale the recruiting a little bit. So yeah, last year it did, because primarily because of the referral bonuses, I was able to hit a larger milestone of 50 referrals in a quarter. So that milestone was $6,000. So when you were able to hit 50 within the quarter, you got 6,000. So I was able to do that for all 4 quarters, or 3 or 4 of the quarters last year. So that was really obviously very helpful financially. Yeah. So most of my money comes from referrals. Yes. Last year, definitely. And I mean, this year is just beginning. So I'm also kind of moving to an affiliate referring account, and with the milestones gone, I'm still kind of seeing how that pans out, but probably about half and half right now. Yeah.
I'm in that group too. We're all learning at the same time what the new structures and everything is.
Right.
So,
yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see. From VIP Kid Teacher Marianne, what levels do you typically teach?
Sure. I'm certified for levels 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And I would say I mostly teach 3 and 4. I used to mostly teach 2, and it might just be that all those little level 2s are now in level 3. But I was a heavy level 2 teacher when I started, like really, really heavy. And then now I'm 3, 4, 5, 6, but probably mostly 3 and 4. Yeah. And I really like that, actually. I didn't sort of do anything on purpose to get those levels, but that's definitely the ones that I love the most.
I've had
it's also, I find a lot of times where the students are incorrectly placed. So that's always challenging. I find that some of those level 3s probably should be level 2s, but.
Right. Or the ones that are so close to leaving level 2 or 3 going up, and you're like, no.
Right. Yeah.
I'm a little bit worried about one. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Hey, Teacher Kim. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Kim.
And Danny, yeah, she knows I can't say no. She said, yes, that is something you learn to overcome.
Yeah.
Hello, Paula. Paula's
Hey,
here.
Paula.
Um,
Paula Gross. Cool.
yeah, she's taking today and tomorrow off. Nice. She needs a break.
Oh, wonderful.
Good
Yeah.
idea.
Take a break. I'm a big supporter of that for sure.
And she's been doing great on her YouTube channel. I know she's been working at it. Let's
Okay,
see.
great.
Marianne. Now, Marianne is in the Overbooking Herself Club too with me. Her and I have talked about
Yeah.
it. She said, yes, one more. And then all of a sudden she has 16.
Is that Marianne that you just did an interview with? I watched that actually
Yes.
the other day. Yeah, it was great. Great interview.
Yeah. She's got great info. She's great.
Yeah.
Let's see. Good for you, Paula. Now I should have had them type in caps when it's to us, but I'm just learning that too. Let's see.
Right.
Casey, looking forward to your interview Tuesday. Yeah, I'm more nervous for me being interviewed than actually interviewing anybody.
Who's interviewing you?
Teacher Kelly Tag will be interviewing me on Tuesday, but Danny's
Okay.
interview is tomorrow.
Ah,
so I
great.
get to interview her. Let's see.
I find it really fun too, because when all of you guys are usually on live, it's late here. Well, usually around this time. So I'm usually heading to bed, but it's a nice way to end the day.
Seeing all of us.
Yeah.
And Marianne, she said initially we were told by VIP Kid not to speak Chinese during class, so she didn't for a long time. So now,
Right. And that is true.
Francis?
I mean, I would say that is probably the policy, but I've never had a problem with it. And, obviously, if you're fluent in Mandarin, the parents don't want you to be having a Mandarin class with a student, right? So it's kind of gauging what's appropriate and how much. But if a trial student doesn't understand how old are you, I ask, 你几岁吗? So I ask them how old they are, and immediately I get a response. So it has helped. And then I go over that again with them in English. How old are you? And then they get it. So
it's a good skill to have.
Yeah.
Now they're talking about following the rules. What's that?
I say I wish I knew more, but it helps to have a little bit.
They're talking about rule following. I'm not going to read who's a rule follower and who's not, but you guys can read the live. Oh, that's funny. Teacher Kim, would you consider teaching level 1? And do you do supplementary classes? Oh, good question.
No and no.
I
wouldn't consider teaching. I know, but I find that it's really okay. Number one, I have never needed to add that level in terms of needing more bookings. So that has never been I tell my referrals, or if anyone's struggling, yes, add level 1 if you're struggling. Of course, more levels, more availability, more potential for bookings. But for me, no, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of yeah. It's yes, I love that age group, but I have just chosen not to add it to my because I've heard that it's really difficult to get rid of a certification. So I don't want to get into something and regret it and be dominated by that level and my other students miss out. And supplementary courses, I've never certified for any of them. Again, because maybe, I've never needed to. Bookings have always been good. So I probably should get a couple just in case, but you never know in this industry when bookings can.
I have baby day at least twice a week. I call it baby day. I have 4 level 1s and 2 level 2s, 2 to 3 days a week.
Okay.
At the end of it, my cheeks hurt and I'm exhausted.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Giselle asks, so what will happen if VIP Kid has a hiring freeze? Will you have a backup plan?
Right. Yeah.
He does.
I'm always trying to diversify my income. And obviously the bulk of my income comes from teaching and recruiting. Well, in the past little while recruiting. So I do work for another company, Go Kid. And we'll just wait and see. I think it's a good idea to have backups and to be thinking of, how you can generate income if something happens. And so that's what I've done, added another company, and working on my YouTube channel, working on affiliate links and things like that. But I don't really see them going on a hiring freeze, but I also didn't really see them getting rid of the milestones. So that was a bit of a surprise, but so you never know. So it's a good question.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Candy. Candy is here. Candy Addicted. Marianne
Hello,
said,
Candy Addicted.
yeah, level 1 is a lot of work. It's not for the faint of heart.
Right.
Okay. And now I'll check the chat again in just a second, but I still have more questions.
Sure.
Are you still okay on time, Tim?
Yes, absolutely. No problem.
Okay. So let's see. Teacher Evelyn, ask him the order of ESL companies he has worked for online. And you answered how you found VIP Kid. So just the two, GoGo and VIP
Yep.
Kid?
Just I also worked for Magic Ears for about 6 months. Not even. Yeah, about 6 months. They just weren't for me, but they offer group classes for students at a time. They're a very new company. Yeah, so they're interesting. They require more energy, a little bit more passion. What they refer to it as in the classroom, and so their expectations are very high in terms of teaching.
That's Magic Ears or GoGo?
Magic Ears, yeah, Magic Ears. Yeah.
Okay.
GoGo Kid, I've been with them since the beginning, and now I don't really teach any classes for them, but I do a lot of referring for them, similar to VIP Kid. So, but they are there as a backup if I need them. And I do occasionally open a few classes here and there just to see what's going on and keep on top of it. But I just prefer the VIP Kid platform, and I'm successful there and I'm booked there. So I haven't really needed to open GoGo Kid. I know a lot of teachers kind of balance both. Who in the chat is with GoGo Kid? Danny's with GoGo Kid, right? So
Kelly, Danny,
Kelly as well. Yeah.
I know
Right.
Kim is iTutor, but I don't know if she's GoGo too.
Okay. Yeah. So
I mean, let us know in the chat.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think one of the questions I get the most is about two companies is how do you juggle them? And yeah, I think the easiest answer is don't open the same slots for both companies at the same time.
Oh yeah.
Right, because you can easily get double booked, and I've heard of that happening frequently, and it's just a mistake you can easily make. But some teachers kind of devote certain time frames to each company or certain days. I've just never done it that way, but I kind of keep them there. And I guess if something tanked with VIP Kid, I would hope that I could open up GoGo Kid and get booked. So,
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Another one. Tell us about where you live and how is it teaching and traveling abroad?
Sure. So I live in a country called Malaysia, which I didn't even know where it was when I accepted the job here, actually. It's if you kind of go south of China and follow your finger down, you're going to hit like Thailand, and then you're going to see Malaysia. And Malaysia is it's a tropical climate, so it's very warm every day. It's around 31 degrees every day. Super hot, so we don't really have a season change. We have a wet and a dry season, lots of rain.
Yeah.
Almost every day. And I live in the city Kuala Lumpur. So
great.
Yeah.
And how do you find teaching abroad? I know some people are worried about the internet connections and things. Now, I didn't have trouble in Asia. I had more trouble in Germany with internet connections than in Japan. I never had a problem. What do you think?
I think you have to be careful, but my thing is I always make sure that I go through like Airbnb or something like that and check with them beforehand and get them to screenshot like the stats. And then because I do short notice, and I probably would only do short notice anyway when I travel, I open up kind of a 2 or 3 classes as a test. And then I know that I'm not, really blowing myself up if something went wrong and I had a whole bunch of classes booked. So that's what I do. I've never really had too much trouble. There are some places that you need to be careful of, like Bali is one that you need to be careful of, some parts of Thailand, but generally internet's really good. As long as you check in advance and make sure that your internet's stable. Like I've never had any trouble in Malaysia. Yeah. So, and I've got my phone as well as a hotspot. So I sort of have that as a backup.
I bought one of the portable ones while I was in Europe. Because when I was moving here, I didn't have internet, so I took the portable one everywhere I went. But I wasn't an online teacher yet, so.
Right. I know we do need to have stable internet. It's definitely one of the that would be a good thing to definitely have if you traveled and did this. I say that I travel and teach, but now I'm sort of, I mean, I do think about leaving and, you know, going other places, but I've been here for a while and I travel out of here a lot and come back. So I've kind of made this like a little home base. So I can afford to sort of take a week and not teach if I go somewhere. But I do teach and, you know, occasionally, and so far it's been pretty good.
Great.
So.
I think you've answered the countries that you've lived. Let's see.
Yep.
Okay. So this was my question. Do you do live sessions on Zoom, like for new recruits, or because I know he has a Zoom account too. So that's why this question is specific for.
Yep. So with I do weekly Zoom sessions on the hiring process. So what I do is I do the I call it the getting hired session. So that is just, I take people through the interview options, and I find it's a really nice time for people to just, you know, without any commitment. They have to be my referral. That's the only thing. They have to have signed up with me to join. But yeah, that they can come and just ask questions. Oh, you want to join?
I want to sit in the background and learn how to do it. So I don't want to ask questions. I just want to like listen in and learn.
Yeah, I know. And I just, you know, kind of go over the hiring process. If I've got a recorded one, Casey, I can maybe send it to you. But
thanks.
Yeah, I go over the different parts of the hiring process, and then I focus mostly on the demo lesson, and I focus even more specifically on the SMART demo, because that's the one that I kind of encourage people to do because it's fast and easy. And we talk about the live interview as well. And then I have some practice slides that I take people through, and just going over the key skills that VIP Kid is looking for. You know, I talk about TPR, props, classroom setup, lighting, all that kind of stuff, headset, you know, and rewards, and just I kind of go over everything. And then that's once a week, and then I do a weekly mock coaching where we focus on the lower level. So I do kind of an hour session on that. And yeah, see, VIP Kid also does coaching sessions. So, you know, I tell people like, go to both or just come to mine. Some people just come to my getting hired and my mock coaching, and that's all they want. Some people come to both. Some people don't come to any. So I put it out there, and yeah, it's been really nice. And I think it's been one way for me to scale my recruiting a little bit, because I can offer that to people and say, you know, you can come and I will coach you. I don't do one-on-ones, but I do a small group. It's never more than, you know, 6 people, and you can come and ask questions, and you know, I think it's a nice thing to be able to offer. Your referrals. Everyone does it differently though.
That's definitely what I need, because I've had a couple people contact me from the site that we're both on, the ESL one. And I don't really have anything to offer yet. So that is my challenge. That is my goal, is to get that set up now that I have people starting to ask me questions. So
yeah, that's great. And it will just evolve, Casey. I mean, you can start with, I was very nervous doing the live coachings, but once you do it a couple of times, you realize that you just need to know a little bit more than them, and you will learn what they're looking for. And I always ask my referrals to send me their feedback, because you'll learn a lot from reading the feedback from the mentors in terms of what they're looking for. So that's really, really helpful for anyone that wants to recruit.
Good, thank you. Okay, let's see. This is from Kelly Tag. She's got two great questions here.
You're only allowed to ask one, Kelly.
She's not in here. I told her she could send these because she wasn't coming. I said, you have to watch the playback to get your answer. So
yeah, right.
Okay, so how do you stay motivated to keep referring when so many give up before they go all the way through the process?
How do I stay motivated to keep going when so many people give up? Yeah.
Yes, the challenge is.
I know it is. Yes. And
up.
I think the motivating factor is I have many that do go through. So when you see, and you need to build up your what do you call it? Your referral portal. You need to build up your applicants, because I think on average it's about a 10%. You know, I have a little bit of a higher conversion rate, but so that's, you know, out of 100 people, that's about 10 people that are going to be completely successful. So that's 90 people that are just going to sit in the process. But over time, they do, you know, pick it back up again. And if you have created a system where you're following up with them and you're reminding them and you're sending them resources, it really helps to keep them engaged. So yeah, it is discouraging, but you know, I've got, I don't know, probably a couple thousand in my system. So a lot of them from months and months ago come back and say, hey, I want to start up again, or that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
I'm one for
you'll
like
get there.
15, I think.
Yeah.
Okay,
so that's about right.
And her second question is, have you thought about doing a referral Nancy Taylor type course? Like making your own course? I think that's kind of like, it seems to me like that's the next step, like VIP Kids.
Yes,
YouTube.
yeah. I mean, I do have some ideas that I'm working on. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I would like to, you know, help people and possibly get into something like that. So yeah, stay tuned. Maybe.
Dun dun dun.
I would like to do something like that because I think that, you know, there's definitely. Well, back up. I think the recruiting thing has had. I think people have been discouraged by it because of what happened in October and how a lot of changes have happened. But you know, it is still alive and well, and VIP Kid still needs teachers, and VIP Kid is still pushing referring. And even if you're not referring for VIP Kid, you know, you can be referring for another company or building your business in another way. So I'm really all about help. I would like to help teachers to build their brand and think about other ways to create income and, you know, use this work at home opportunity to build something bigger, because that's what I'm always dreaming of doing, is how I can, you know, create more and, you know, help teachers. So
one thing I've learned, just for anybody, I know this is kind of more about not really teacher Tim, but networking.
Yes.
I mean, building our brand, just people are like, what do you think of this? And if you subscribe, I subscribe. And just networking and talking to people is a quick way to start gaining, I guess, some subscribers and some people checking out what you have on your
I'm
YouTube
reading the
channel.
chat box. I read Mary Ann's comment.
She's
Tim,
hilarious.
you should give us a free Zoom class, your loyal followers. That's a good idea. And that would be great practice, right? I could offer a Zoom class to help people recruit.
Oh, Danny was in the double booking club. Oops.
Okay. Yes, actually, I think I heard about that.
Oh, really? I think so too. Oh, Paula, she is 90% level 1 babies. Woo.
Wow, good for you.
No wonder why
That's
you're
awesome.
taking a break. Sub to us.
I actually had my first teacher no-show the other day. Does anyone want to hear about that?
Yes. I have nightmares about it.
Yeah, I have never had a no-show, and it was last Monday, and I scheduled kind of a lot more classes than I was used to, and I had a trial student show up at the 9-minute mark. And so you know how the VIP Kid classroom starts counting 0, up until it doesn't start at the 9 minutes. Obviously, you've got to watch your own clock. So I just lost complete track of the time. And I was going until it said 25. So when was 25? Well, 25 was 9 minutes late for the next class.
Oh, no.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I was horrified. But, you know, you just use it as an experience and move on from it.
Yeah. Oh.
But it was a little, I was so angry with myself. I was sitting right there, you know, it wasn't like I went and took a nap and then came back, but it happens even to veteran teachers.
Good to know.
Don't worry.
Good to know. Isn't it weird to see us here and then we look down in our chat and we're just seeing our conversation? I just saw myself like.
Yeah, I've got it muted. I see Danny said something about, did you know that teacher Michael is a Go-Go Kid now? Yes, he was my referral. Actually, yeah, he reached out to me when he was starting the process. So yeah, I helped him. I mean, he did great, you know, on his own.
That's funny.
But yeah, he's checking out Go-Go Kid now.
He was the next one I was trying to ask to come on here because I want to know about his puppets and his experience and everything.
Yeah, so cool, right?
Uh-huh. Okay, let's see. I feel like oh, did you see this one? How do you refer? Do you contact people or wait for them to contact you?
For referring, it's changed a lot. In the beginning, I reached out a lot, and I was very active in Facebook groups, and while I
Mhm.
was building my YouTube channel, and I've been in Facebook jail for 2 weeks, so I haven't been able to do any Facebook recruiting. But I've built up my VIP Kid Facebook hiring group over the last year, and so that kind of acts as a little funnel for me. So I do get people reaching out through that, and then I get people reaching out through YouTube. So I don't do a lot of reaching out or contacting, but as soon
Mhm.
as they sign up with me, I do reach out with my initial email, which gives them a password protected access to my referral site, which I have a training guide and a hiring course for, and then they can book my Zoom sessions as well. So
Okay.
that's how I reach out to them right away. And I get their emails now because I have an affiliate account. So if you're an affiliate recruiter, you have a slightly different portal. So I can see their emails, which is a struggle for teacher referrers who don't know the applicant. You don't get to see their contact information. So that's
Right.
a change that happened on January the 1st
I
or
have like
earlier, I think.
four that pass their basic and the next step and are just not moving, but I have no, did I
You
do
have
four?
no way of contacting them. I know.
Yes. So let's see. Yes. Practice on us. We can be your guinea pigs. Tell us about the short notice he did. Oh no. Oh, Teacher Kim, I think she did tell me about that once. She said she's done that. She took a nap and missed one time.
Okay.
Uh, Danny, he's human.
That's right.
That's nice. Teacher
Yes.
Michael reached out. How do you keep track of your referrals to keep in contact with them? I think you kind of.
I do a Google spreadsheet. I put everyone in my Google spreadsheet, and then at the end of the month, I tabulate where everyone is. I cross-check it with my referral tracker, so I have an updated column of exactly what status they're at. And then I sort the columns, and then I take each group of people, depending on what stage they're at, and I send them a follow-up email reminding them to keep going, reminding them of my support, and I always ask a
Right.
question and try to get them to respond to me because I think it's easy to just kind of look at emails and glance over it, but if I try to keep them engaged with the process, so that's how I follow up. But I don't bug them. I don't send 5 or 6 emails a month to them. I don't really have a
Yeah.
big mailing. I don't have a mailing list.
You're not spammy.
Yeah, try not to be spammy.
That's my new favorite word.
Maybe it's a Canadian thing, I don't know.
I don't know. It's probably a real word, but I just haven't used it. I'm from Boston. I leave letters out and
Right, you talk funny.
right? Wait a minute. Okay, so good question, Marianne. Are you on any other social media besides Facebook and YouTube, like Instagram, LinkedIn, etc.?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, but I'm really not good at Instagram. It was one of my 2020 goals because I know that that's a great avenue to build up a following and to build up, content and stuff like that. But I'm just not good at it. It's not natural. I'm enjoying the YouTube process right now. So I'm putting most of my effort into making videos with YouTube and working on my channel that way. But maybe
Good.
Instagram down the road.
Good. Okay. I hope we didn't miss anything above. If we missed your question, please put it in the chat and I'll check it after our last famous 3 questions. Does that sound okay with you, Tim?
Sure. Do I know the 3 questions? Maybe. I wrote
I
them
sent
down.
them to you. Who knows?
Okay.
I think the first 2 are kind of similar, so I'm thinking I need to change one of them. But what are some qualities of a good teacher?
Okay. Qualities of a good teacher. A good VIP kid teacher or just a good teacher? I would say
A
being able
good
to relate to
teacher
the
in
kids.
general. What's
Yeah,
that?
I think being able to relate to the kids and connect with them, that's where I kind of highlight myself in the classroom as being able to connect with them. And I'm a very low prop user and low reward user and low classroom decoration user. So kids are not coming to my room for all the bells and whistles and the props and things, but they do know that they're valued and cared about. And, you know, I try to really focus on that in the classroom. And, you know, I'm fun and serious and just focus on the learning and extending with them. Yeah. So I think, you know, with my years teaching in China, teaching a lot of Chinese kids, interacting with a lot of Chinese parents, I've learned a lot of what parents are looking for, you know, in terms of pronunciation. So focusing on that sort of stuff. I think a good teacher is flexible and adaptable to any situation. It can be hard because you're, you know, especially as a new teacher, it's hard to anticipate what could go wrong. But as you build up more classes and as you get more experienced, it does become a lot easier. So yeah, I think, does that kind of cover it?
Yeah, the next one was
flexible.
what are your strengths? But I think you hit on that one.
Yeah, I think just trying in the classroom, I really try to focus on fun and making them laugh, and but also focusing on helping them improve, which I'm sure is what, you know, we're all kind of working on. Yeah, just connecting with them, and, you know, I love building a relationship with them, and I really do have a big group of regulars that do look for my classes. So I think it's helped in the long run to have a good base of students.
So you're short notice, but you still have quite a big following of regulars. So that's kind of nice to have regulars.
Yes, they're all regulars.
Nice.
And this was the real biggest fear when I turned to short notice. I didn't want to, because I didn't want to lose my regulars. I think that's everyone's struggle with the idea of moving to short notice. But
yeah,
you can create your own frenzy. And that's what I did. I created my own frenzy every day at 6 o'clock. That's what I do. Is I have told all my parents that's when to look for me. And so that was my secret sauce to getting them to book me is I told them 6 p.m. Beijing time, I will open up for the next day, because that would cover me for my period of time that I was doing short notice. I used WeChat, and I did have a couple of key kids that whose parents shared my profile, I think, with other parents. I have a lot of kids in Qingdao, a city in China, and several of them are from one particular mother who, she's a big recruiter for students. You can actually make, you can actually be a parent recruiter and get discounted classes. And she's apparently very, very successful at it. She has referred hundreds of parents to VIP Kid. And so she tells me that she gets mostly free classes now. So
wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Good on her. Yeah. Okay, what is your favorite teaching resource, professional development, or book?
YouTube.
I think that is like the main answer now. We all go to YouTube.
For anything in life, right?
Yeah, right.
How to edit my YouTube video, what to take to Thailand. You know, just
yesterday was how to use contact paper on the drawers that I'm trying to redo.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely.
Everything. Okay, I'm going to shift back to the chat because we've got questions. This is so much fun. You guys are great. Let's see. I think I saw a question here. Melissa, I think you recorded your Go-Go Kid interview and showed the slides. Did you get permission to do that? I wanted to show some slides for some things, but don't want to break any copyright laws.
Right. So next question.
The short answer is we're not really sure. Let's not talk too much about it.
Yeah, I did do that. I have not had any issues with that. It ended up being a very popular video. I did make an effort to watermark the slides. I wouldn't do it again. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it.
Wow.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't do it again because I know better now. But I wasn't even thinking too much about that when I did it. Yeah. It was like over about a year and a half ago, I think now. So
yeah, I definitely think we're more aware.
If it became an issue, or if I was breaking copyright laws, then I would have to take it down. Yeah.
I think we definitely know more now with these recent years with YouTube and how all the online things work. But I think, in all fairness, a year and a half ago, most companies were like, "Here's our name, put it out there. Here's what we have." I think
Right. Yeah.
before.
I have done different things to not show the actual slides in my VIP Kid demos, but
Mhm.
in the GoGo Kid one, I tried to sort of watermark out the slides, and I muted the lady's name and stuff like that. But yeah, it is there.
Marianne said, "Great interview, Tim. You are very professional."
Thanks, Marianne.
And she's big on extensions. Oh, how do you avoid burnout?
Take time off. I don't work 7 days a week usually, and I am quite generous with not opening slots because I can do short notice. It's a little bit easier to sometimes say no,
Yeah.
and say, oh, tomorrow I just want to work 2 hours or 3 hours, or 1 hour, or I want to put more effort into a couple videos, so I'm not going to open any slots.
Mhm.
But I think, yeah, just recognizing when you're burning out, recognizing when you feel that it's not enjoyable. And look, I've like many people have sometimes dreaded wanting to go into the classroom because you're tired, or you're just like,
Mhm.
I can't do another 25 minutes of that. It's a really fun job and I love it, and it's just so cool that we can do this. But
Mhm.
yeah, you do have to definitely watch and know yourself, and
I think
put
once you
things in
feel
place to
like,
make.
oh, I gotta do it, then maybe it's time for a break.
Right, yeah, when it's not fun. And that's
Mhm.
just goes back to me not wanting to do it full-time hours, or teach like some have done so many in a
Yeah.
row. um yeah.
Oh, Marianne might try some short notice this summer. Go, Marianne. Keep us
Oh,
posted.
Marianne, yeah, try it. I mean, you can always just start small and build it up, but the extra $300 or $400 a month is definitely worth it.
Yeah, that was my first month in VIP Kid, was all short notice. I had over 200
Yeah,
classes, and yeah, but that's because I
yeah.
had no regulars or anything. I didn't know what I was doing. Um,
Kim asked, do you burn
teachers,
out with referring or YouTube?
yeah,
Was that the question you just asked? uh with
no,
referring, no, not really. It's really fun, and I really love when people reach out to me, and I've kind of got into a nice groove with referring. That it's
hmm
I do work hard at it, and I put more effort into referring right now than I am with teaching.
yeah,
Um, and referring, you do have to definitely create boundaries for yourself, because it can be that you're always on your phone, you're always on Messenger, or you know if I were to do things differently, I might put in more boundaries in terms of how I could be contacted and things like that. But
yeah,
it's really just an individual choice. But yeah, no, I haven't felt burnt out from it. The new guidelines definitely were discouraging, and wondering what direction VIP Kid was taking was
yeah,
concerning, especially for a lot of us that had been encouraged to refer, and promoted, and yeah, just highlighted in the community. It was hard to then be told, well, actually, you know we don't want you to do it in that way anymore. So there was definitely a confusing message.
good. And Danny, short notice equals freedom.
Yes,
I
definitely.
think, I think that's it for the questions, Tim.
Yep.
Wow.
Cool.
Right at 1 hour. Look at that. Wow.
Yeah, awesome.
Great. Well, thank you, everybody in the chat. Thank you, Tim, for
You're
doing
welcome.
an
Yeah,
interview today.
I'm trying to go live on Monday night. So can I plug that?
Uh, Plug your channel, plug your interviews. Yeah, that's the last thing to do. Go for it.
So I'm doing a 2,000 sub giveaway, and I've got a couple of options for it. So I'm hoping that folks can come. You need to come to the live to enter, and it will be a coaching session with me on anything you want. So if you want something on recruiting or YouTube, or building up your bookings, or just having an extra eye on your profile, things like that, will be one of the giveaways. So
Great.
it'll be Monday at 8 o'clock, Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Monday, 8 Eastern. Okay, I want to make sure I put that in the bottom of my description box too.
Sure.
Great. So you can find him at, time. Yep, he just gave the time. Okay. You can find him at Online Teacher Dude. That is how I originally started finding your videos. And yeah, thanks again. And
Great.
we'll, I'm sure many of us will be there on Monday.
Awesome.
Great. All right. Thanks, Tim. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys. Yeah. Have a great day, everyone.
Have a great night.
Yes, thanks.
Bye.
Off to bed.
Yes.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.